Hi, well, today's video has been a little bit accidental because the second I started recording, they started working on the streets, with a noisy machine. So I hope the noise, I can manage to reduce it during the edition. And I'm shirtless because apparently in Madrid the spring is coming sooner than expected, and I have hyperhidrosis, which means my armpits are going to ruin every single shirt I wear because I sweat so much. So I'm sorry about the informality, but this is what we got now. I have to work with this. Today's topic is, I think it's it's gonna seem like some sort of flashback because we've already lived through this before. And it's about penis enlargement and penis shrinking. In both cases, I'm referring to voluntary procedures for grown-ups. We're gonna start speaking about the enlargement part, which is gonna be really fast and short because when it comes to penis enlargement, I think most of us are aware there are a lot of different products or surgical interventions, aesthetic interventions, and so on. From the part of my life where I perform in porn, I have seen a lot of my partners and scenes get submitted to this kind of procedures, especially the aesthetic ones, which are most of the time just hyaluronic acid. I'm not sure if I pronounced it well, but just some sort of acid. You inject it to the skin of the penis and it makes it thicker, which might be effective, but I think it's still, in my personal opinion, from my point of view, the examples I have seen and felt have actually been guys who, for instance, one of them is actually a porn actor that's also an aesthetic doctor, and what he said is, I always used to pack my penis and the underwear to one side, to the left. So actually the acid, which once it's injected, you have to massage it so that it gets equally sparse all over the penis, so it's equally girthy. And it works, of course. You start distributing it with a massage after the injections, and it should stay like that. It actually doesn't stay like that. So he said, since he always puts his penis to one side, the acid has started flowing into one side, and now one side of his penis is way thicker than the other. The very same thing happened to another one of my friends who packs his penis looking down. So the shaft of his penis is really normal. Look, it used to be I used to think he had a fat dick. So, but apparently now it looks kind of a thin kind of base, and then it gets way thicker because if you pack your penis like this, the acid is just going to go down. So he has a huge, I'm not even going to say glands because the acid doesn't go into the glands. Huge foreskin before the glands, and it looks like I don't know, like some sort of a trapezoid kind of thing, which makes it look kind of weird. So that's it. So that's hyaluronic acid. And other procedures that I have seen, I don't know the name of this one, but it's one of my friends. He inserted two, let's say, plastic things at the base of his penis that go all the way inside the body and to half of the shaft of the penis. So he doesn't need an erection to penetrate. The thing was that when I started shooting the video with him, before he told me he had this surgery done, which is of course much more invasive than just the acid injections, I sort of noticed that his hard-on was now looking down, and I had already recorded with him before, and I knew his penis, and I said, hey, this used to be kind of different. And it turns out, he said, well, I had this procedure because now I'm starting to record much more often, and sometimes if I don't get an erection, I still have to record because I record with a couple of actors, and the next hour I have to record with others, so there's no time to waste, because if I don't get an erection with the first group, I'm going to delay the second one and therefore the third and the fourth and so on. So it would ruin a whole recording day. So it's effective, definitely. And when he got eventually hard, his erection was still looking down, which he said, yeah, that's one of the things that could happen in this procedure. And afterwards, after we recorded, he told me he actually had lost 2 or 3 centimeters in length during an erection because of this procedure. And that after pounding someone really hard, the plastics hit him inside, and he had his ball sack was purple, and he was sort of swollen and in pain. So I again think it's still too early to consider that a good alternative. Now there's another one that's pretty common that, as you may know, and I'm gonna put a picture here. The anatomy of the penis. The penis hits the abdomen wall and then keeps on existing inside the body. So this procedure consists on cutting the ligaments that stick the penis to the abdomen so that it goes even lower, and you can kind of release a portion of your penis that's inside of your body, and so you gain length, but of course your penis is a little bit lower. Maybe some people don't care about it, and of course it's effective. It's your own penis, so there's nothing much to lose. I think in that regard, if I wanted a longer one, I would probably choose that one. But again, I still think it's too soon to call it a success. Now, as you may have noticed, for the very lightweight way that I am explaining all the penis growth procedures, is that they are not the main character from this video. The real issue I want to address is the penis shrinking part, because when it comes to penis growth, I think we can all agree that everyone from every gender or even non-gender in his life has seen either a person or an advertisement or something on TV or anything on the streets that talks about penis growth and surgeries and stuff like that. What happens when it comes to the other side, the other people, the ones who don't want to have a bigger one but want to have a smaller one? As you can tell, I'm actually part of that group. So I was really curious when all of my friends started getting aesthetically the penis they wanted, the penis they were looking for. I thought, hey, maybe there's something for me as well. And since I'm a sexologist and I had access to all this library of sexology and all that stuff, I started reading about it. Unfortunately, there were no good news. The fact is that penis shrinking procedures have only been performed around 500 times in the history of humanity and worldwide. So there's not like one standard procedure for it. It's not easy to get. Not every doctor knows how to do it. And I thought, well, I think the last research, the most updated one was 2017, if I can remember well. So I thought maybe if the aesthetic doctors, the plastic surgeons or urologists know something. So I'm going to start talking to them and see what alternatives there are in the 21st century for this kind of thing. Unfortunately, what I came across was that there's absolutely no procedure for that. There are some procedures, but most of them have to deal with corpus cavernosum, which are both like the erectile tissues inside the penis on the sides, which are the ones that give the erection the strength. I'm sorry, I'm out of English words for some reason. Rigid. But if you mess with the corpus cavernosa, there's always a risk of erectile dysfunction. So it's definitely not something I want to play with, because my objective is not to have erectile dysfunction, but to have a smaller one. That's all I need. That's all I want. I would think it's aesthetically what I want. So definitely I'm not going for impotence. And I have scheduled other visits with urologists and stuff like that to see if there's any other solution or any other word. But to be honest, I'm quite pessimistic about this kind of thing. Regarding this, when I spoke to a fellow sexologist, that I chose a sexologist that I didn't know. When I had the consult, I thought from all my background in sexology, from all the people I have worked with the people I studied, with people from my master's degrees, I considered them all to be amazing sexologists. So to meet another one, I thought it was going to be amazing. And unfortunately, I was very disappointed, because when we started talking, he said that I was looking for some sort of transgender surgery. And I thought, no, I have absolutely no problem with my gender. I love being a man. I want to still be a man. And he said that that kind of surgery would only be available for a trans person. And I thought, why? And why would a sexologist support that kind of argument? First of all, because it's false. And second, because it's quite stigmatizing. I mean, first off, a transgender person doesn't go from one gender to the other. You can also choose to be non-gender or to be gender neutral or stuff like that. So if we start building this kind of thing, like if you want a surgery on your genitals, you are transitioning from male to female. And it's like, no, man. I mean, first off, that's really ignorant on transgender issues. And I was expecting much more from a sexologist. And the second part was, so if a male wants to have some sort of, let's call it non-normative sort of genital procedure, that makes him automatically trans, because I don't see this kind of issue going on with people who wanted a bigger penis, only when it comes to smaller. So what are we playing at now? And I said at the beginning of this video that I thought this was going to sound a lot like a flashback, like something we have already lived through. which reminded me in the late 90s and early 2000s, the whole thing with breast augmentation, that younger and younger girls could get breast augmentation. It was okay and totally acceptable, and the plastic surgeons were really all right with that. But if you wanted a mastectomy, the removal or either a reduction of breasts, you needed an approval from a psychologist, a psychiatrist, the Pope, and the fireman. So, I mean, it was just totally absurd. So if you want a bigger one, which is what society likes, it's okay. You can do it as young as you want. If you want a smaller one, then, oh my God, you're sick and you need permission, you need to be reviewed, and you need somebody to judge your position in order to say that you're all right, which I consider an awful double standard. Because once again, we're pushing this normative discourse. If you want bigger breasts, if you want bigger penises, it's all right. We have all these things we can do. It's very easy to get to. You can see all the signs, advertisement on the streets, on TV, on public transportation. I remember, I think I already told this one, but when you walk out of the metro station in Chueca in Madrid, you see this huge sign that says penis enlargement. Be the man you always wanted to be, or something like that. That's totally okay. It's not even like, hey, this is a public place, they're children. It's like, no. You can talk about penis enlargement. But if you want to talk about shrinking, it's like, man, no, you know what, this is just, doesn't even exist. About the 500 cases that I told you that had actually gotten a penis shrinking, it was because I think most of them, I don't remember quite well, but most of them were because of macropenis. That's kind of a different formation of the penis where it's so freaking big that you cannot get erections, or it's impossible to penetrate, or it's impossible to wear clothes, or it's actually a problem with day-to-day life. So in those cases, I assume doctors say, okay, we're going to give you a regular one according to what they consider to be a regular penis. So if there's a regular case like me, that I don't happen to have a big penis at all, it's just I like really, really small ones, and I would really like to have a very, very small one. Those cases, it's like, oh no, I'm sorry, there's absolutely nothing we can do. But if you want a bigger one, man, just come over here. We have a lot of options, a lot of different options, even though I consider them to be quite experimental, and that the results are probably not the ones people usually expect. You know, you don't expect your penis to be thicker on one side. You don't expect like your foreskin to grow exponentially because you positioned your penis in a different position when it comes to the acid kind of thing. I don't think people expect to have like a downward pointing erection because of the silicone insertions at the base of the penis. I don't know. It's just I'm thinking again, like when are we gonna get through with this already? I mean, with the breast augmentation and breast reduction thing, we already did it. Do we really have to go through the same thing again? There's, of course, the market thing. Everybody wants to have a bigger penis. So definitely there's going to be a market for it because it's going to be profitable. And probably the market for penis shrinking is going to be way, way smaller. And therefore, there's probably no need for an esthetician or a doctor or a plastic surgeon to know about it or to actually study about it. I understand that part. But the fact that more and more people are coming out and speaking more about this subject, even on groups on social media, where they are like, just say Reddit, on the penis shrinking group, there are like 9.8 thousand people who are there either because they really want to do it, because they fantasize about it, because they think it looks hot. On the small penis humiliation page, there's not even one group. There are like a lot of groups with 29,000 members, 12,000 members, 2,000 members. I mean, there are a lot of people interested in the small penis thing, either because of aesthetic, because of just arousal, because they consider it being hot, because they like, either for my case where I just think I would really look better with that, or other people who think I want to have this because my huge turn on is to be humiliated because of it. Whatever the reason, I believe it should be as respected, or respected equally, as all the excuses there are for people who want to have a bigger one. I mean, it's not a life or death thing, definitely. I'm not gonna die if I don't get it. I would really like to get it, or at least I would really like to know if I can get it, how much it costs. In case if it's very expensive, I'm gonna say, oh my god, yeah, well, someday. If I can actually finance it and pay for it, it would be great. I mean, I'm 33 and I would finally be able to have the body I want. And in the case of all the guys who already got like a penis enlargement thing, what's the excuses? I want to have a bigger one. Why? Because bigger is better. It's like, yeah, probably that's the reason, because we've just repeat this thing over and over again. And bigger penis means more masculinity, means more confident in the locker room, more confidence with your friends, more confidence with shooting a porn video, more confidence with wearing tight pants or whatever. None of those reasons, I think, in my opinion, are actually more valuable point of view of somebody who actually wants a smaller one. So that was kind of the rambling I wanted to do today about the sad discoveries I have on penis science in the 21st century, where I think we're going to get again to the same point we were in the early 2000s with breast reduction, which was a real issue, because if you were too young to get breast reduction, you wouldn't be able to get it unless you had the approval of a psychologist, a psychiatrist, and a gynecologist, and I don't know how many doctors, but I just hope we just don't jump into the same wagon again, because it would be really unfair. I don't know what you think about it, if you have heard about any procedures, if you have met other people who actually want to do it, or maybe if you have met somebody who has had a good result with the penis enlargement methods, maybe one I haven't mentioned. As I said, I wasn't going to go too deep into the whole penis enlargement thing because that wasn't actually the point. If you want a more specific video for that, you can ask for it and I can do it. I just didn't want to make him the main character of this video when it's already the main character in most of the society we live in. So that's it. That's my rambling. Let me know what you think about it, and we'll see each other in another video. Bye.